We are definitely into mason bees at our house, and we're at a store the other day and saw a mason bee house that used bamboo instead of like we've made them with straws. And you can see they're very highly populated. It's the season right now. And so I'm going to take a second here and bang out a very quick mason bee house using bamboo because it's something else that we have a whole lot of. And you'll see in a minute, I'm just putting it together super quickly with 1x6 cedar boards. And in fact, these are sort of crummy 1x6. They're really 5/8 by 5.5. And I put it together similar to the shape you're seeing here in this rendering. I just quickly, I had some scrap left over from other projects, so I quickly milled up the pieces to come up with the size and shape. I based it on just minimizing cuts, so it's 5.5 inches wide, and I simply cut a back panel, something that could have a hole in it to hang from a nail. I ripped the bottom piece to fit between two side panels, and that's what this piece is here. I cut a couple of side panels with a 15-degree angle on them for like a roof line. Then I cut a roof piece with a 15-degree angle on the back and the front of it. You'll see how this thing goes together in a moment here. Again, super quick, super fast. Really, what we're trying to do now is just find out if the bees will move into the bamboo. Once they've moved in and sealed everything up with mud, you can remove the bamboo out of the house and put it somewhere else and put it in a different house next year with time for the bees to come out. So the super build quality of this house wasn't all that important to me, even though I did it, I think, strong enough to certainly last the test of time through the season. Again, I used cedar, and I simply used outdoor Titebond and some ring shank galvanized nails to knock it together with, and again, a 15-degree angle on the roof slope. Super fast, super easy construction. Did this whole thing probably in 30 minutes, 40 minutes from start to finish. The shape is similar to the other ones we have outside already with straws in them. Again, when I tried them with straws, the bees moved in almost immediately, and we have hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of mason bees using the two straw houses that are out there right now. This was really more of an experiment because we had so much bamboo around, and I thought it kind of looked cool. So again, I just kind of knocked this thing together pretty quick into the house shape. Again, just using Titebond 3 and galvanized nails. They're ring shanks, so they grip pretty nicely. Nailed that roof part on, and then you're going to see in a minute, because I have a bunch of this left over as well, some galvanized sheets of steel. I bent myself a kind of a galvanized roof for this because the location of these at our house, there is a small overhang, but they do get some moisture, and I know that one of the most important things you can do for these mason bee houses is to keep those tubes dry for two reasons. You don't want the mud that they've packed in to wash out, and number two, you don't want mold to grow. And so again, I just used some galvanized tin, bent myself a roof with an overhang on both sides and on the front in order for the water to be able to run off without soaking into the wood. So here's my very homemade metal bender, which is nothing more than a piece of steel bar that I clamp in a vise and knock on with a hammer, but it works great for small things like this. You get a decent 90-degree turn, and it's not all beat up. And so once I fitted that, I did a clip in the corner and folded over the corner so that it would have a kind of a folded front end and side end, and then used pop rivets to hold that together. Then it came time for the bamboo. I just found a piece of wood that was the right length to use as my measuring stick and just started cutting like mad. I used a Japanese saw to cut it with because you get a super fine, clean, straight cut on the end of the bamboo. It doesn't splinter, it doesn't string very badly if you cut all the way through. And I just very tediously cut a zillion of these tubes. Did not pay attention to the size of the tube much, mostly just eyeballed it, and we'll just see if the bees move in, and we'll see which ones get filled and which ones don't. Again, it's not a big deal to me. I just wanted to see if they would move in, and you're going to see here at the end of the video, I put it outside with our other bee houses, and they're already moving in, and it was like within, I'm not kidding, 30 minutes of hanging it out there, we had bees moving in. So I'm showing this in fast motion because this was just a tedious process of cutting and cutting and cutting lots and lots of little bamboo pieces until I filled it up. Again, I went for the random sizes because I just thought it looked cooler to see all these cut ends and the kind of the irregularity of the bamboo in the little house. And you'll see in a second when it's all together. They just sort of lay in there like that. They're about 4 inches long. You can see some are probably too big. We'll find out in a while. Here it is hanging out with the houses we've made with straws. You can see how busy those are already with bees. And as I zoom in here to the new house, you will see that bees are already investigating. And indeed, I think they're starting to move in and to leave those larvae behind for the coming year. If you don't know much about mason bees, they're fascinating. They're super hard workers. Everything they do happens within just a number of days. They appear, they do a ton of pollinating, they return to the tubes, they lay their eggs, mud them up, and they're ready to go next year. You can see they're moving in. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, please subscribe.